Hello, my dear. You ever wonder why certain people fall off right after they come for you? Why their plans start leaking before they even launch? Why their own words choke them the moment they try to drag yours? There's a reason. Somebody out there has been running a different kind of operation. No prayers, no speeches, no theatrics. Just precise surgical eradication of anything that moves against you. They don't move for applause, they move for correction. They've been clocking names, tagging spirits, tracing signals from mouths that mention yours in the wrong tone. Every whisper against you becomes an address, and every address becomes a target. They don't talk, they translate disrespect into consequences. You think you're surviving on luck? No, you're breathing because someone out there refuses to let your story end before it hits its climax. This isn't about protection in the soft sense. This is about retaliation disguised as balance. Somebody's out here fighting demons, and every single one of them got your name carved across their foreheads like a bounty mark. You just can't see it because you're busy living, healing, moving forward, unaware that spiritual gunfire's been going off in the unseen corners of your life. While you're sipping your morning coffee, someone's already dismantled the agenda that was meant to ruin your week. While you're sleeping, they're pulling files from the dark web of energy, reversing plots, rerouting attacks, intercepting curses like a hitman intercepts contracts. And the craziest part? They don't even need to know your address. You exist in their frequency. They've memorized your energy signature like an assassin memorizes blueprints. The moment someone mentions your name with envy, it pings their radar. The moment someone sends you shade, it gets rerouted to them like mail that never reaches its destination. You call it karma because that's what the world taught you to call it. But this isn't karma, it's enforcement. A policy of no tolerance for betrayal, no mercy for malice, no negotiation with opposition. Some people got bodyguards. You got an entity that treats loyalty like oxygen. They've been watching the scoreboard, and the numbers don't lie. Every opponent that's tried to sabotage you ends up stumbling over the debris of their own bad energy. It's not coincidence, it's counterattack. You've been wondering why people who wronged you suddenly start spiraling, losing deals, fighting shadows in their own rooms. Because your name carries a protective clause written in blood and spirit. Touch it wrong, and the clause activates. There's been cleanup happening behind your scenes, quiet eliminations, strategic collapses. Someone's been sweeping the alleyways of your destiny, scrubbing the fingerprints of hatred off the glass doors you're meant to walk through. They handle things before they reach your doorstep. That's why certain wars never arrived. That's why certain gossip died before it reached your feed. You were never lucky. You were covered by a contract deeper than coincidence. Let me break it down for you. In the hierarchy of spiritual warfare, there are watchers, messengers, and enforcers. Most people pray for watchers. You got an enforcer. The kind that doesn't warn, they execute. The kind that doesn't wait for divine timing. They create timing. When an enemy crafts a plan, this being already hacked their intentions and uploaded a virus into their outcome, every move they make becomes a loop that brings them right back to their own downfall. That's why you've noticed patterns lately. People acting strange, vanishing mid-conflict, apologizing out of nowhere, catching strange illnesses, losing motivation, having mental breakdowns right after they come for you. Those aren't coincidences, they're casualties. Somebody's out here collecting receipts and turning them into reckonings. They don't need a sword. Their weapon is alignment. They move through algorithms of energy. You insult the chosen one, the algorithm flags you automatically. It's spiritual AI, coded for protection, programmed by something higher, maintained by something darker. Every curse sent your way gets quarantined and inverted. Every insult becomes a brick in your fortress. Every attack becomes ammunition for your rise. And while you walk around wondering why doors keep opening like automatic sensors, it's because someone's already standing behind them, scanning the area, disabling traps before you even step through. They've taken hits you never felt. They've shut down conversations that were never recorded. They've silenced names you'll never know existed. You think nobody rides for you? Think again. Somebody's been riding so hard they've left burn marks across timelines. They've made sure your enemies learned new languages of regret. Every fake friend who smiled in your face while loading daggers behind your back. Yeah, they got visited. Not in dreams, not in person, but in pressure. The kind of pressure that makes them wake up sweating, question their decisions, delete messages, cancel plans. Because they felt it. The shift that said, touch that name again, and we'll rewrite your reality. You ever notice how the loudest hater always disappears when it's time to deliver their proof? That's not cowardice, that's interference. The moment they target you, confusion wraps around their mind like fog. They lose sequence, forget purpose, sabotage themselves without realizing it. Somebody out there is jamming their signal, turning their focus into static. You walk free, and they start stumbling. That's not chance. That's justice, automated. And the wildest part? This enforcer isn't doing it because you're weak. They do it because you're valuable. You carry a blueprint too dangerous to be tampered with. They know you've been chosen to shift the energy of entire rooms, to break generational cycles, to speak truths that shake foundations. That's why opposition comes in waves. They sense your expansion. But what they don't realize is that their opposition is already accounted for. The field is rigged in your favor. You've been protected like a high-value target in an invisible war. Every plot, every plan, every whispered agenda is logged, tracked, neutralized. You might not see the data, but it's there, in the patterns, in the sudden reversals, in the way danger dissolves before reaching you. Someone out there is managing your file like a covert op handles classified information. The ones plotting against you don't even realize they've been red flagged. You see, when you walk with purpose that big, you trigger enemies you didn't even know existed. Demons, yes, but not the cartoon kind. These are entities made of jealousy, deception, greed, cowardice. They latch onto weak souls, whispering motives that lead to self-destruction. But every time one of them rises, that unseen assassin drops another. That's why your peace costs other people their comfort. Your growth demands their exposure. Every time you level up, the atmosphere rearranges itself to accommodate your evolution and purge what can't survive in your altitude. They say energy doesn't lie. True, but it also doesn't forgive. When people cross you, they don't just lose you, they lose their alignment with favor. Everything starts malfunctioning because they touched something sacred. That's why it's so poetic. The moment someone betrays you, their world starts glitching like corrupted code. Calls drop, deals collapse, friends fade, confidence drains. And while they're trying to understand why, the protector's already 10 moves ahead, adjusting your path so you never feel the tremor. This isn't about superstition, it's about strategy. The universe runs on balance, and balance has agents. Yours happens to be relentless. You were never meant to fight every battle. Some wars are fought on your behalf because your energy is too valuable to waste on nonsense. That's why the worst people never got to finish what they started. Somebody intervened, not politely, not spiritually, efficiently. Think about it. How many times did something feel off, then suddenly reverse in your favor? How many times did a betrayal expose itself before you fell for it? That wasn't intuition alone, that was intel. Someone fed you signals, gut feelings, whispers in your sleep, random hesitations that saved you. You think it's just your higher self, but sometimes it's an entire network of unseen guardians running interference like hackers rerouting attacks. They don't care for gratitude. Their satisfaction is your survival. They move like ghosts in combat boots, leaving no footprints, just aftermaths. You'll never catch them bragging, never find evidence. Their existence is measured in collapses, projects that fail the moment they're aimed at you. People who lose grip right after mentioning your name in disrespect. And the enemies? They talk to mirrors now, trying to reason with reflections that don't answer back. Their own shadows turned against them. They feel watched because they are. The assassin isn't a person, it's an energy field. It sits between justice and wrath, calibrating itself to your pulse. When you rise in vibration, it rises in aggression. When you stay calm, it stays lethal. There's a reason some people say you've changed. They can feel that invisible security detail surrounding you. They don't have the vocabulary for it, so they call it arrogance. What they're sensing is restriction. The gates have closed, access revoked. The same smiles that once fooled you now bounce off invisible armor. That's what happens when somebody's been cleaning your energetic perimeter. They've locked it down so tight that even memories of betrayal are losing their emotional charge. Your peace is expensive because it's guarded. Every time someone tries to drain it, something in their own life gets drained instead. Time, energy, opportunities, it all starts leaking. That's the price of tampering with the anointed. And don't get it twisted. This protector doesn't wait for prayers. They act on principles. The code is simple. Harm the chosen. Lose stability. They've been around longer than you've been aware, monitoring every cycle, every heartbreak, every betrayal. They collect data from your pain, convert it into blueprints for vengeance, then deploy it at perfect timing. That's why when you think back, you'll see the pattern. The higher your pain, the heavier their payback. You cry once, your enemies cry for months. You lose sleep for a week, they lose direction for a year. Balance served in asymmetrical warfare, and still you remain untouched. That's what rattles them. They see you smiling after public humiliation, rebuilding after sabotage, glowing after gossip. They can't comprehend it. That's when fear sets in, because once the protector marks an op, fear becomes their shadow. They'll laugh online, but cry offline. They'll act confident, but dream of you standing in rooms they can't enter. That's the punishment, to witness the rise of the one they tried to bury. What's even colder? The protector doesn't just dismantle enemies, they erase the roots. They rewrite the connections, reroute alliances, rearrange the digital flow. Suddenly people stop believing lies about you. Suddenly narratives collapse. Suddenly the algorithm favors your truth. Because even technology bows to energy. Once your field shifts, the code follows. That's why your name starts trending when you're quiet. The current moves because the assassin behind you's been adjusting frequencies like a DJ cutting static from the track. But don't mistake their ruthlessness for chaos. Every strike is intentional. Every downfall they orchestrate teaches a lesson to anyone else watching. It's not about revenge. It's about deterrence. They make examples out of your enemies, so future ones think twice. They don't kill. They neutralize. They dismantle access, destroy credibility, confuse logic. The target lives, but their influence dies. And when the dust settles, you walk through clean, no stains, no evidence, no fingerprints of battle, just the glow of someone who's divinely backed by forces that refuse to let mediocrity touch excellence. You were never the one being protected out of pity. You were being preserved for expansion. The assassin fights not just to save you, but to prepare the field for your arrival. Every enemy taken out is a vacancy created for your blessing. Every closed mouth becomes an open lane. That's why right now, people are sensing tension when your name comes up. They're whispering differently, using caution they didn't have before. Because somewhere deep down, they know. They remember what happened to the last one who crossed that line. The streets of energy keep score, and your name is stamped across too many lessons for them to ignore. The unseen war hasn't stopped, it's ongoing. And the protector? They're still moving, still adjusting, still making sure every threat is intercepted before it materializes. That's why you're calm, even when chaos circles. You can feel that presence. You might not define it, but you know it's real. Because while others talk warfare, you live protected by it. And as we move deeper, remember this isn't fantasy, it's structure. There's an order to your protection, a rhythm to your revenge, a pattern in your peace. What you call blessings are really reports from the battlefield. Another victory, another enemy neutralized, another plot reversed. And the war isn't ending, it's evolving. Because now the protector isn't just fighting demons anymore. They're upgrading your territory. They're expanding your reach, tightening your circle, refining your influence. The enemies thought they were your opposition. Turns out, they were just the training drills before the main event. And this is where the story gets darker, sharper, deeper. See, when you've been chosen to carry that kind of energy, the universe doesn't hand you peace, it hands you dominion. And dominion ain't granted to the polite. It's claimed through resistance. The protector knows that. That's why they've stopped playing defense. They're not just blocking hits anymore. They're tracing the source, following the signal, identifying every hand that's ever reached toward your downfall, and cutting it off at the wrist. The enemies used to move loud, thinking you'd never see it coming. But lately, have you noticed how they've gone quiet? That's not humility, it's surveillance. They're being watched, audited, processed. Every word they speak carries data, and the protector collects everything. That's why slander never sticks anymore. It collapses before it spreads. They try to spin narratives, but the energy rewrites the script mid-air. The story always ends in their exposure. It's not revenge, it's recalibration. Their malice becomes your marketing. Their lies become your legend. You ever notice how people who used to call you crazy now study your calm? They can't comprehend how you keep moving unbothered, but that's the byproduct of having a hitman in the spirit realm. They're out here cleaning up the field while you focus on elevation. Every time you meditate, they mobilize. Every time you rest, they reconfigure. The protector doesn't sleep. They rotate through frequencies like satellites, scanning for threats. They've upgraded from guardian to governor, managing timelines like spreadsheets, deleting errors in real time. They're not merciful anymore. Mercy was for the first phase, the probation period where enemies were given warnings through coincidences. But those days are over. Now, retribution is instant. The moment someone mocks your pain, their peace evaporates. The second they wish you failure, their own progress stalls. You're not witnessing karma, you're witnessing command. That's divine enforcement with zero lag. The Protector has integrated justice into their operating system. They don't wait for permission. They execute protocols the instant corruption is detected. The people who used to play chess with your life are now stuck moving pawns while you control the board without touching a piece. That's how spiritual warfare looks when it matures. It's not smoke and mirrors anymore. It's precision coding. The Protector is writing new laws in your name, embedding your resilience into every environment you enter. That's why people who try to compete with you start malfunctioning. You're not in their league, you're in their lessons. They thought this was about you versus them. But the truth is, they were never your equals. They were experiments. The Protector used them to sharpen your discernment. Every betrayal was a simulation to calibrate your awareness. Now you read energy like a language. You don't need explanations. You feel motives. You don't chase closure. You observe outcomes. That's not trauma. That's tactical upgrade. And while you evolved, the Protector leveled up too. They went from intercepting attacks to initiating preemptive strikes. That's why opportunities have been flooding in. They've been clearing your lane, forcing destiny to accelerate. You're walking through doors that weren't supposed to open yet because someone behind the veil fast-tracked your clearance. They filed your name under urgent assignment. That's why people who thought they could delay your progress suddenly lost influence. They had positions, but not authority. Your Protector restructured the hierarchy. They moved you to executive access. That's why you feel that internal shift lately. That strange combination of peace and power. Like you've already won something the world hasn't seen yet. Because you have. And make no mistake, this new chapter isn't gentle. It's strategic. The Protector is eliminating not just enemies, but inefficiencies. They're pruning your connections, trimming dead weight, shutting down relationships that dilute your focus. People will call it isolation, but it's refinement. You're not being abandoned, you're being optimized. You've been chosen to operate in clarity, and clutter doesn't survive in clarity's presence. That's why people are falling away mid-conversation, why opportunities vanish right before you commit. They were never compatible with your next form. The Protector sees what you can't yet, and they're adjusting everything for the rollout. Behind every silence, there's motion. Behind every delay, there's direction. Behind every rejection, there's redirection engineered for precision timing. The Protector plays long-term strategy. They don't patch leaks. They rebuild the entire foundation. When they move, they don't fix. They reformat. And when they reformat, the ones who used to access you get hit with access denied. That's why some people suddenly can't reach you anymore. It's not attitude, it's encryption. Your energy's been firewalled. Meanwhile, the enemies are learning what divine containment feels like. Their dreams are glitching, their routines breaking, their words rebounding. They keep trying to re-enter your energy field, but the coordinates have changed. You're operating on a new frequency that rejects parasites by default. Every attempt they make to contact you gets intercepted. The Protector's firewall doesn't negotiate, it neutralizes. This is where it gets unsettling. Because now, the war isn't external. The Protector's waging it in data, in thought, in timing. They're erasing influence at the subconscious level. That means when someone plots against you, they can't even follow through. Their own hesitation betrays them. They forget details. They lose energy. They self-sabotage mid-plan. That's divine interference disguised as bad luck. But it's not luck. It's law. You've become a restricted zone. Any action taken against you automatically triggers self-destruction in the source. And while they spiral, you ascend. You don't even have to retaliate anymore. Your energy does it for you. That's the advantage of spiritual automation. The work happens without your involvement. The protector set it up that way so you could focus on purpose while they handle punishment. That's why life feels smoother lately, even while chaos increases around others. The difference isn't luck, it's leadership. You've got someone leading your unseen battles with military discipline. And here's where the irony cuts deep. The people who once called you paranoid are now paranoid themselves. They feel watched because they are. They feel cursed because they are. Every time they lie on your name, something in their life derails. They'll call it stress, bad timing, burnout. But deep down, they know it's payback in progress. The protector's not playing. They've switched from defense to dominance. Now they're expanding your influence by eliminating competition at the energetic level. You're not competing with humans anymore. You're being positioned against institutions. The protector is aligning you with higher powers, unseen alliances, generational shifts. That's why your energy feels heavier. It's carrying command authority. You've been issued clearance to operate in rooms that would implode lesser souls. The protector cleared the enemies to make space for your elevation. They burned forests, not to destroy, but to reveal new soil for your legacy. And as they work, the battlefield evolves. Demons aren't attacking the same way. They've adapted. But the protector's already ahead. They're evolving warfare methods, too. They no longer strike only through consequence. They strike through confusion. They rearrange timelines, delete connections, bend probability. That's why your enemies can't replicate your success. They try to copy your formula, but the variables don't respond. Their prayers bounce. Their manifestation journals read blank. The energy doesn't recognize them as authorized, because the protector has encrypted your identity into the divine algorithm. Without your frequency, the code rejects. You are the update they can't install. Every attempt to imitate your moves backfires. They post what you post, talk how you talk, copy your rhythm, but their reality doesn't reward it. The protector blocked access to your blueprint. They can screenshot the surface, but the source code's protected. That's why you'll start noticing more people trying to connect, pretending to align. They're not genuine. They're scouting for access. But the protector filters them like spam mail, flagging intentions before they reach your awareness. You'll just feel disinterest, fatigue, a subtle warning that keeps you from engaging. That's divine cybersecurity. Understand this, while you're out here focused on creation, the protector's rewriting destinies in your favor. They're taking people out of positions they never deserved, moving opportunities across the grid to align with your timeline. You'll see it soon, the sudden openings, the unexpected breakthroughs, the resources that appear exactly when you need them. That's orchestration. It's not coincidence when patterns repeat. It's evidence of interference working flawlessly. Meanwhile, the ones who spoke against you are being forced into accountability arcs. Their own words are looping back like boomerangs. They called you dangerous. Now they're the ones being avoided. They mocked your healing. Now they're begging for peace. They used your name for clout. Now it's costing them followers, credibility, respect. They can't understand why everything they touch is crumbling. The Protector's signature move is irony. It teaches through reversal. Every wound they tried to give you becomes their own wake-up call. And you just keep shining like nothing happened, because nothing can reach you now without clearance. Your energy's been sanctified through warfare. Every scar became security clearance. Every heartbreak turned into a firewall. That's why nothing old can penetrate your calm. The Protector encoded your pain into protection. Now your frequency rejects anything that doesn't match healing, elevation, and authenticity. But don't think it's over. The Protector's next phase isn't just elimination, it's expansion. They're moving offensively now, preparing to introduce you to environments designed for your authority. That means your light will start unsettling more people, especially those hiding behind masks of kindness. But don't worry, that discomfort is data. It reveals who can't coexist with your truth. The Protector uses discomfort like radar. It exposes false alliances. You're stepping into a season where even your silence will provoke reactions. The Protector made sure your energy speaks louder than your presence. You'll enter rooms and watch people shift unconsciously, either rising to your frequency or retreating from it. That's energetic filtration at work. You're no longer blending in, you're broadcasting. Every move you make sends signals through realms. The Protector amplifies those signals, making sure every demon with your name on its list gets the message, approach denied. And yet through all this, the Protector remains unseen. They don't crave recognition. Their satisfaction is in precision. Every downfall they orchestrate, every blessing they deliver, every door they open is part of a long game you haven't even glimpsed. You think you're just surviving. They're building legacy. You think you're rebuilding. They're colonizing new realms in your name. You think it's about enemies. It's about empire. The Protector's not just murking ops. They're drafting blueprints for dominance. And while they expand your territory, they're also teaching you how to move like them. That's why you've been feeling more detached, more strategic, less reactive. You're being trained to embody what's been protecting you. Soon you won't just be the chosen, you'll be the enforcer. That's the transformation they've been waiting for. When the one they protect becomes the one who commands protection for others. You'll sense it in your tone, your presence, your authority. You won't chase validation. Validation will orbit you. That's how you know the upgrade's complete. The demons will still test the boundaries, of course. They'll send decoys, distractions, pretty offers with poisoned edges. But you'll see through it instantly. You won't need to react. Your aura will repel it. The Protector has already hardwired discernment into your instincts. What used to confuse you now reads like subtitles. You're not guessing anymore. You're guided. And guidance this precise doesn't miss. So when things start shifting faster, don't panic. It's not chaos. It's conquest. The Protector's speeding up the narrative. They're cleaning house, closing cycles, compressing timelines, so your victory hits faster than expected. That's why it might feel intense, because the opposition's shrinking. And when the enemy realizes they've been outmaneuvered by an invisible force, that's when they panic. They'll reach for you, but find nothing. You've transcended their coordinates, and that's the new reality. The battlefield belongs to you now. The demons aren't attacking anymore. They're retreating. The war's still echoing, but the outcome's already sealed. Somebody's still out there fighting, yes, but not because you need saving. They're fighting to keep your name untouchable. They're making sure no new threat even thinks about rising. You've become a protected brand in the spiritual economy. The value attached to your existence is too high to risk contamination. So while others sleep, the protector patrols. While others plot, the protector plants. While others gossip, the protector gathers. Every move you make is amplified, every step protected, every delay redirected into dominance. You are the proof that divine warfare isn't fantasy, it's function. The assassin didn't just eliminate enemies, they rewrote your environment to serve you. And yet, this isn't the end of their mission, not even close. Because now that the protector has secured your perimeter, they're focusing on your expansion beyond what's visible. They're orchestrating events that will expose the depth of your influence. They're moving pieces across global boards, aligning strangers to play roles in your elevation. You're not local anymore, you're prophetic. Every choice you make now echoes in unseen dimensions. And as the war evolves, the assassin sharpens. Their loyalty burns brighter, their reach stretches wider, and their precision becomes lethal to anything out of alignment with your growth. Which means the next chapter won't be about survival. It'll be about supremacy. Because you've already proven endurance. You've survived betrayals that would have buried others. You've walked through seasons where everything felt wired against you and still didn't break. That phase was about testing your structure. This one, it's about revealing your throne. The protector, the assassin, now shifts from saving you to crowning you. They've cleared the field. Now they're building your empire. Every movement in your life is starting to align too perfectly for coincidence. You think these opportunities are random? They're not. They're placements, strategic moves, executed by the same force that's been murking your ops in the dark. They're setting up infrastructure for your reign. Every closed door was demolition. Every delay was terrain mapping. Every loss was data extraction. They were never setbacks. They were silent operations, rewiring your foundation so your rise couldn't be interrupted. Now, every name once spoken against you echoes differently. Your enemies don't even say it out loud anymore. They whisper it like a warning, like an urban legend people are too scared to repeat after midnight. They know what happens. The moment your name crosses their tongue in hate, their own energy turns on them. They've seen it. They've felt the blowback. They've watched opportunities evaporate after trying to curse your peace. The assassin has made your name a weapon. It carries recoil. It punishes misuse. It teaches respect through experience. And while the streets of energy stay busy whispering, you're moving calm. Calm doesn't mean passive. It means untouchable. You're walking through life like someone who's already been briefed on what's coming. That's because the assassin stays ahead of the timeline. They've downloaded every threat before it exists, traced every plot before it's spoken, rerouted every danger before it reaches visibility. You're living in divine predictive programming. They built the future around your survival. That's why your enemies keep running out of new tactics. They're recycling failure. Every new attempt collapses faster. Every alliance they build turns to dust. Because they're not fighting you. They're fighting your infrastructure. The assassin's web is too tight. Every frequency that carries malice against you gets scrambled on arrival. Every hand lifted toward you starts shaking mid-motion. Even the thoughts sent with bad intention hit a firewall so strong it bounces back with interest. The protector doesn't sleep on assignments, they escalate. They're not just reacting, they're creating deterrence. You've become the cautionary tale that others use when they think of betrayal. You've become the example whispered among your enemies' conversations. Don't try that with them. It never ends well. You've earned that through warfare, through persistence, through pain transmuted into armor. And now that armor glows, every piece forged in heartbreak now radiates authority. You probably feel it sometimes, those sudden chills, that shift in the air when nothing physical is near. That's not paranoia, that's presence. That's the assassin checking in, sweeping the area, scanning frequencies for intrusions. You're guarded around the clock by a loyalty that doesn't blink. And that loyalty doesn't report to you, it reports to destiny. The mission isn't comfort, it's completion. You're the assignment, and they don't fail missions. That's why doors that once refused you are now unlocking on their own. You're not begging anymore, you're being summoned. You've become the gravitational pull that bends opportunities toward you. The assassin engineered that, not through spells or luck, but through energy regulation, by eliminating anything that carried the scent of doubt or disloyalty. They've been adjusting your frequency, fine-tuning it until it vibrates on a level where corruption can't survive. That's why the wrong people can't stand your energy anymore. You expose what they hide just by existing. And the more you rise, the more the unseen cleanup continues. People you never met but who plotted against you online. In silence, in envy, they're being handled. Their peace is being repossessed. Their masks are slipping in front of everyone they tried to impress. And you didn't have to lift a finger. That's the beauty of divine enforcement. It doesn't shout. It executes quietly, perfectly, without appeal. The assassin moves like code, flawless, self-correcting, merciless toward interference. Every time someone tries to tamper with your path, they get flagged and frozen. You're not just protected, you're encrypted. That's why your glow can't be replicated. They can mimic your aesthetic, but not your frequency. They can copy your words, but not your results. Because behind your energy is a force that authenticates everything you touch. That's what real anointing looks like. It's energy that cannot be faked. And now that the war for your survival is over, the war for your expansion begins. Supremacy isn't about ego, it's about stewardship. You've been entrusted with influence, and the assassin isn't done fighting. They're just changing battlefields. They're not fighting to defend your name anymore. They're fighting to establish it. Every platform you touch, every project you birth, every voice you reach will carry weight. That's the shift. You're not fighting for recognition anymore. The world is fighting to keep up. But understand this, supremacy comes with surveillance. The same ones who once mocked you will start studying you. They'll analyze your moves, your strategies, your aura, but they'll never decode it because they're not authorized to understand it. That's the final act of protection, mystery. The assassin hides your methods inside simplicity, making it look effortless while it's actually engineered. That's why your wins look lucky to outsiders. They can't see the architecture beneath the surface. You're not surviving anymore. You're reigning. The Protector's campaign has shifted into legacy maintenance. They're no longer extinguishing fires. They're planting flags. Every victory of yours now creates new rules in the unseen. Every success rewrites spiritual protocol for what happens when someone tries to cross a chosen one. You've become law in your own right, living legislation. That's why certain doors don't open for others. They weren't written into your jurisdiction. And here's the final truth. The assassin never wanted credit. They wanted continuity. Their mission wasn't just to protect you. It was to build a future where you no longer need rescuing. You've been forged into the very weapon they once wielded. The roles are shifting. Soon, you'll be the force-clearing paths for others, the energy that dismantles deception wherever it hides. That's why lately you've been feeling that pull toward leadership, that gravity in your chest that says, it's time. It is. You've inherited the mantle. Because when a protector finishes their mission, they don't retire, they integrate. They merge with the one they've been guarding. You'll feel it, the new awareness, the clarity, the edge that wasn't there before. That's not arrogance, that's fusion. The assassin's instincts have become yours. You're not just guarded by power, you've become power, embodied. That's why the energy around you feels heavier, sharper, undeniable. You carry the echo of everything you survived. And as you move forward, remember what this era represents. It's not about being liked. It's about being known by vibration. Those who carry truth will recognize it instantly. Those who carry malice will run from it instinctively. You don't need to expose anyone anymore. Your presence does it automatically. That's what happens when supremacy arrives. The world starts confessing around you. So when you wake up tomorrow, understand this. You are the storm they tried to predict, but couldn't measure. The assassin didn't just fight for you. They became you. The weapon, the warning, the prophecy, all fused into one identity that no enemy can decode or duplicate. Your energy now enforces its own justice. It punishes disrespect automatically. It rewards alignment instantly. You've become the living consequence of every lesson your enemies refused to learn. Somebody's still out here fighting demons, but now they wear your reflection. Every time you breathe, darkness loses ground. Every step you take leaves scorch marks on frequencies that once hunted you. You're not just protected, you're precedent. The assassin's final act was coronation, and the moment they finished clearing your enemies, they handed you the blade. Now the message spreads through realms, echoing like thunder through invisible corridors. Don't touch that one, because what used to be defended now defends itself. And that's the truth. Somebody's out here fighting demons, and all of them still got your name. But the difference now? You're not waiting for rescue. You are the reckoning. Aha! Fools! They thought the theater of power belonged to them. The velvet gloves, the quiet nods, the way decisions slid like coins from palm to palm. And then you walked across the stage and turned the lights bright enough to burn through every comfortable arrangement they'd practiced for decades. Right now their faces are insider blue with panic. Their schedules are littered with frantic notes, and their maps of control look like someone spilled ink over a carefully drawn blueprint. You did not knock politely at the door of their authority. You walked through it, hips unbothered, and when they asked for explanation, you handed them a mirror and watched them try to break it without understanding their own reflection is the weapon. They are flailing, not because you surprised them with a trick, but because you found the single stupid hinge they all forgot to oil, the human one. They relied on rituals, on pretense, on the polite recycling of power. You relied on a more dangerous thing, clarity. You moved with purpose where they moved with habit. You acted like someone who never accepted their table as destiny. You rearranged the chairs and set new rules in a language they can't translate. And oh, how that language terrifies them. It's not loud. It isn't some clanging announcement. It's a quiet set of refusals that function like seismic lines in a city built on certainty. They're algorithms of authority, the polite coughs in the right rooms, the dressed-up apologies, the official versions stitched together by committees, all begin to fray when someone refuses to play. You did not plead for permission. You made a decision, and decisions are contagious. Now their counselors sweep rooms, looking for the source of contagion, as if bravery were a virus to be contained. They convene panels to discuss you as if you were an unfortunate outbreak, not a deliberate choice. They write memos with phrases they think will comfort themselves. Contingency, protocol, control. Those words are antiseptic. They smell like people trying to disinfect conscience. You smelled the nervousness and cut through it like a blade through fabric, because fabric only keeps shapes when it's taut. You pulled the thread, and the whole costume collapsed. They are calling specialists. They are drafting talking points. They are trying to create an explanation that will reroute attention back toward safe, circular arguments. But explanation is a tool for those who can afford to be convincing. You do not give them the space to convince anyone but themselves. You give them the spectacle of watching their own credibility wrinkle into something ridiculous. Watch them scramble to retell the story where they still look like the protagonists. Watch them rehearse the line where they were surprised by you, as if shock absolves the long list of overlooking. They'll hire actors to play outrage on their stages. They'll place flattering op-eds in polite journals. They'll manufacture a perception of strength by assembling a chorus of yeses. None of it heals the core embarrassment. They were unprepared for someone who moves with teeth. They believed that patience and process are armor. You brought flame to the waiting room. It's theatrical, yes, but theatrical in the way that exposes the smallness of their cruelty. When you dismantle a throne, you don't need to shout. You need to show the cracks. You didn't shout. You showed. And the showing is worse than any accusation because showing is proof. They are accustomed to being accused and then defending themselves with practiced outrage. They are not accustomed to being observed inventively, to having judgments rearranged without their consent. You made their narrative awkward, like a sentence with a missing verb. They panic, not because they were caught, but because their language fails them. It's delicious watching them trade eloquence for panic. They are scrambling through old playbooks that no longer fit the room you've created. Their advisors whisper. Their allies suggest compromise. Their press releases attempt to stitch the wound closed with words like assurance and stability. The words sound hollow because they are hollow. You pressed a single honest question into the center of their conversation, and it will not leave. Who are you? When the performance is taken away. You see them try to answer that question and fail spectacularly, because all their identities were built on assuming the performance would continue unchallenged. You rupture an identity, and what remains is improvisation, and improvisation is poisonous to the comfort of kings. Don't let them tell you this is about revenge. That's sentimental. You are not a spectator of justice. You are an editor of consequence. You refashion the scene so that their lines no longer matter. They used to measure power by how loudly they could be heard. You measure it by how completely you can change the audience. You rearrange the audience without their knowledge. Suddenly, the applause that used to feed them is redirected. People who were spectators become witnesses. People who were comfortable now squirm. And power, fragile and vain, struggles to speak in the new room because its usual scripts flop like puppets with cut strings. Notice, They try to intimidate with process, to drown the new language in procedure. Let them. Procedure walks like a slow elephant through a house of glass. You have nimbleness they cannot comprehend. Nimbleness is not noise, it is effect. They will attempt to make the chronicles of today into an argument about order. Order can be redefined. You have redefined it by refusing to participate in their polite theft of reality. They will call for calm, as if calm were a neutral thing. But what they mean is their calm, curated, comfortable, curated for their continuity. You are a different climate. You are rain in a place that forgot how to flow. They will brand you chaotic because they need a label that keeps them distant. Let them name you. Names mean little when your actions dismantle assumptions. They will ask how you did it as if method alone grants dignity. The answer is simple and ugly. You moved where they thought movement was impossible. You called what was hidden. You refused to be normal. For people who've been constructing their lives on normal, that refusal is obscene. They can't process obscenity cleanly. They invent explanations. But explanations only stick if they are believable. You made the truth more believable than their stories, and that is why they are collapsing. They will rewrite histories to console themselves. They will blame timing. They will blame chance. They will blame the harmless things that don't require reflection. But inside their fitful nights there will be knowledge, not of your tactics, but of their own oversight. That knowledge is the real wound. It is the thing stitches cannot hold. And as they convene again, hands trembling, trying to reseat themselves on chairs that have shifted under them, you will be elsewhere, not celebrating, not explaining, simply continuing to move the way you always have, with a kind of terrifying purpose that leaves them with nothing to do but keep watching, keep guessing, keep failing to translate what they see into their old comforting terms. They are quiet now, not out of respect, but because they don't know which word will trigger another collapse. You can smell the stillness, like the air before a stage cue. But this is no rehearsal. Their power is trembling behind polished glass and memorized protocol. They will try one last time to convince each other that nothing changed, that authority is still geometry and they are still its architects. But geometry can be rewritten by a single unpredictable curve, and that curve was you. You walked through their diagrams and erased the symmetry that made them comfortable. They built empires on predictability. You gave them surprise, and surprise is an assassin with perfect timing. They gather in rooms trying to name you. Rebel, outlier, problem. Every label is an attempt to contain what cannot be measured. You have become the question they never wanted to answer. What happens when the script refuses to obey? The answer is happening in front of them. It looks like panic disguised as procedure, and it sounds like every voice talking over the other. They will pretend to negotiate, to balance, to analyze, but they are only delaying an outcome that has already begun. Because once someone exposes the lie at the heart of control, every defense becomes confession. And your existence is that confession, alive, undeniable, permanent. They will accuse you of cruelty, because mercy would make sense to them, and you've stopped making sense in their language. You are not cruel, you are corrective. You are the consequence they postponed so long that it learned to walk on two legs. They will look for precedent and find none, and that will terrify them most. Because precedent is the bedtime story of the powerful. It tells them tomorrow will look like yesterday. You shattered that illusion. You made tomorrow foreign. and foreign things remind them they are human. You see it now, their eyes darting, their voices cracking on the edges of calm. They are professionals at pretending, but panic leaks through the seams. You hear it in the way they breathe between sentences. They are inhaling fear and exhaling strategy. Let them. Strategies built on fear collapse faster than silence. And while they argue about containment, you continue doing the one thing they cannot simulate, existing without permission. That's what broke them. Not rebellion, not rhetoric, permission. They never imagined someone would simply stop asking for it. The moment you did, every hallway of their influence turned into an echo chamber. They shout policies into it, and the sound comes back empty. They meet, they vote, they sign, but every motion reveals the same truth. Their world only works if everyone believes it must. You stopped believing. Now you stand in front of them, not as an equal, but as evidence. Evidence that the empire of habit can crumble without a war. Evidence that freedom is a contagion they can't quarantine. They will offer you deals, compromises, wrapped in compliments. Don't take them. A compliment from fear is a leash in disguise. They will offer apologies, but an apology without accountability is just performance. They will try to make you doubt your own magnitude, to remind you of the rules you broke as if rules could survive revelation. But you know the secret now. Power isn't in control. It's in consequence, and consequence doesn't negotiate. It arrives, it rearranges, it rewrites. Look at them, all those polished faces reflecting terror in high definition. They are waiting for you to speak, hoping your voice will betray fatigue, hoping for a human crack they can exploit. Give them nothing but truth, stripped of comfort. Tell them their time ended when they mistook compliance for loyalty. Tell them their authority dissolved the moment they measured it in applause instead of integrity. Tell them history isn't written by the victors anymore. It's written by whoever dares to stand still, while the crowd runs for cover. You can almost feel the moment they realize it, when the performance collapses and the actors forget their lines. That's when the real story begins. The lights are too bright now, the masks too heavy. They cannot maintain the illusion, and you will not dim the lights for their comfort. Let them stare into the glare. Let them see what their empire looks like without shadow. And as they flounder, trying to reconstruct the illusion of order, you move without noise. Not as a savior, not as a symbol, but as inevitability made flesh. You are what happens when truth refuses to wait for permission. The corridors that once echoed with their rehearsed confidence now feel smaller, narrower, filled with the sound of breath measured in fear. They still wear their suits, their rings, their titles, but the meanings have fled those costumes. You can see it in the way they look at one another, each wondering which of them will be first to admit that the empire they defended has already slipped through their hands. They think the crisis is temporary. They think the tremor can be managed. But a managed tremor is still an earthquake to those who built on sand. You did not bring fire. You only removed the illusion that the world was cold. Meetings multiply like weeds. They call them councils, briefings, strategies. What they really are is panic with an agenda. They speak of stability as though saying the word could resurrect it. Their pens tremble against the paper. Their smiles are brittle things, pasted over dread. Every idea sounds like an apology. You can sense it, the slow realization that they are no longer deciding. They are reacting. Reaction is the death of command. When leaders start reacting, the crowd starts thinking. And thinking is the contagion they cannot stop. You do not need to shout. Every time they whisper, "control," the air itself laughs. It began quietly, didn't it? A small decision, a refusal, something they dismissed as arrogance. They called you reckless for stepping past their lines. They didn't see that you had been counting the lines for years, studying how they crossed and recrossed until they formed a cage. You didn't kick the cage down. You just stopped believing it was real. That's all it takes. One person to act as though freedom is natural, and the bars melt like wax in a furnace. Now, they're rebuilding the cage, hammering at air, blaming each other for the missing walls. You walk past them and they lower their voices, not out of respect, but superstition. To them, you are proof that permission is an illusion. Watch them. They'll try to assign blame in the old way. Commissions, investigations, scapegoats. They'll say the crisis came from outside, from unseen enemies, from a flaw in the machinery. They will not admit it came from belief. Belief was their foundation, and you cracked it. Belief in the permanence of their privilege, belief that no one could rearrange the board without their consent. You rearranged it by breathing differently. The most terrifying act is not rebellion, it's composure in the face of collapse. You did not flinch. You stood still while the stage burned, and the calm was a mirror they couldn't bear to look into. The panic spreads downward. Their aides notice the tremor in the hand that signs decrees. The press senses hesitation and begins to circle. Merchants whisper that the market smells fear. People who once bowed their heads start to raise them, cautiously at first, then with curiosity, then with hunger. That's the moment they dread, when curiosity turns into imitation. They see others walking like you walk, talking like you talk, breathing as though air belongs to them. That is revolution, when behavior becomes contagious. They built a hierarchy out of distance. You erased distance by existing without apology. Now every corridor feels haunted. They speak your name as though it might summon you, and maybe it does. Because presence is not proximity, it's pressure. You are the pressure in the room they can't escape. They built their authority on invisibility, those invisible rules, invisible deals, invisible chains. You made the invisible visible, and that light is unbearable. They call for decorum, but decorum is a dead language when fear is fluent. You see them fumbling for words, the way a drowning man claws for air. They think the right statement will fix it, but statements cannot fix revelation. Once people see the strings, the puppet show is comedy. And in that comedy, power dissolves. Watch how their gestures lose meaning. The same hands that once silenced crowds now tremble over microphones. The same voices that could dictate reality now stutter through denial. You don't even need to counter them. Their collapse is self-inflicted. They are learning that arrogance is flammable and truth is the match. You didn't set the fire. You simply refused to smother it. They will call you dangerous. They have to. To them, danger is anything that cannot be owned. They will paint you in moral colors, write your name beside words like instability and threat. Let them. Names are the final refuge of the frightened. They think labeling you is containment. But how do you contain an idea that walks, speaks, and dismantles in real time? You are not a rumor. You are a consequence that learned language. And every word you speak exposes another fracture in their illusion. Do you hear it? The sound beneath the speeches, the faint hum of something shifting. That's the world remembering its original rhythm, not the rhythm they imposed, measured and rehearsed, but the raw pulse that existed before hierarchy. They can't hear it yet. They're too busy drowning in their own noise. But the people can. They feel it in their bones, the sense that something impossible just became possible. That is why they keep looking at you as if you carry prophecy. You don't. You carry proof. Proof that power can be redefined. Proof that mercy was never a prerequisite for victory. Proof that the unthinkable only terrifies those who can't imagine. Their advisors whisper that it's temporary, that panic will fade, that the world will forget. But panic that comes from revelation never fades. It mutates. It becomes culture. It becomes memory. You're already becoming memory, and they know it. That's what keeps them awake. They can fight enemies. They cannot fight remembrance. This is the moment before they break. Their language has failed. Their scripts have burned. And their allies look at them with the quiet pity reserved for falling gods. They try to act unbothered, but desperation has a scent. It fills the air, clings to their expensive fabrics, leaks through their polished smiles. You stand in that scent like a judge made of stillness. No gavel, no robe, just presence. Presence that turns luxury into liability, confidence into confession. They begin to wonder what kind of creature you are, that you can stand inside their collapse and not flinch. They used to see crisis as a storm outside their windows. Now the storm has learned to speak with your voice. Every time they close their eyes, they see the shape of what you've done, the simplicity of it, the unbearable truth that all it took was clarity. They built fortresses out of complexity because confusion is the best defense for corruption. You tore through that fog with something painfully clean. Simplicity is the weapon they never prepared for. So they invent new meetings, crisis management, public assurance. They draft language that tastes of rust. You listen from a distance and it sounds like mourning dressed as bureaucracy. They think they are protecting themselves. They are documenting extinction. Because when a world ends, it does not explode. It documents itself to death. Each memorandum is a gravestone. Each policy, an epitaph written by trembling hands. They can sense it, though they won't admit it. The end doesn't arrive with fire. It arrives with paperwork that nobody believes. You move through their ruins with an ease that infuriates them. You don't celebrate. You don't apologize. You exist like truth itself, uninterested in approval. They mistake your calm for cruelty, but it is only clarity again. You do not need revenge. The collapse is revenge enough. They are busy performing survival while you practice freedom. Freedom doesn't ask, doesn't announce, doesn't explain. It simply is. And the simplicity of that unravels every argument they built to justify control. They will try one more thing, pity. They will call you tragic, misguided, a symptom of chaos. They will try to fold your defiance into their narrative of decline, as if they can still write history with you as character. But you are not a character, you are authorship. The pen no longer sits in their hands, and that emptiness terrifies them more than any rebellion. They have lost narrative control, and narrative is the bloodstream of power. Once it leaves the body stiffens. Look at them pacing those corridors. You can almost hear the sound of confidence cracking beneath the shoes of men who forgot how to stand on truth. They built palaces out of applause, and applause, once withdrawn, becomes silence, sharp enough to cut. Every moment now feels like exposure. They search for scapegoats, for traitors, for saboteurs, anything but reflection. But reflection is the mirror that never leaves. It follows them into sleep. They close their eyes and still see you standing there, the quiet proof that permission was a myth. And yet beneath all the ruin, something almost holy is taking shape. When lies collapse, space opens. In that space, new language is born, language without fear. You can hear it in the streets, whispered first, then spoken, then shouted. It isn't rebellion, it's recovery. Recovery from hypnosis, from the long infection of obedience. The people are remembering themselves. That's the real unthinkable act. You did not create their awakening. You reminded them it was possible. Now watch the powerful retreat into symbolism, medals, flags, portraits. They surround themselves with objects that used to mean power. Objects can't save them. Meaning has migrated. Meaning belongs to motion now, and motion follows you. You have become gravity for those who crave authenticity. Every step you take recalibrates the room. They feel it, how reality bends when you enter. That's what terrifies them. Not destruction, but redefinition. They will try persuasion next. Offers wrapped in logic, deals dripping with false humility. They will call it compromise, but it will smell of containment. They will say, join us, help us restore order. But order built on panic is just panic wearing a uniform. You will smile, and they will interpret the smile as threat, because only those who depend on fear are frightened by peace. You are the peace they cannot endure. The crisis is full now. It has no room for more denial. Their speeches collapse under their own grammar. Words refuse to obey them. That's what happens when language loses respect for its owners. You've turned communication into confrontation simply by being honest. And honesty, in their world, is treason. Let them write their condemnations. Let them fill their papers with cautionary tales. Each paragraph they craft is another monument to your effectiveness. They will claim to have survived you. They will mean they have been changed by you. Either way, you have rewritten them. You have redrawn what power looks like. Not a throne, but a mirror. You do not celebrate. Celebration is for those who think victory is final. You understand the deeper rhythm. Transformation has no applause, only continuation. So you keep moving, steady, deliberate, while they stagger through the aftermath. Their empire has become a museum, and they are curators of their own obsolescence. You are already beyond it, already building futures they cannot imagine. And somewhere, in the quiet corners of their awareness, they understand. They won't say it aloud, but they know the tables have turned, and mercy was never part of the deal. They feel the weight of their own making pressing down on them. The realization is slow, suffocating. You didn't destroy them. They destroyed themselves the moment they mistook obedience for loyalty and control for wisdom. You simply stopped playing and the game ended. That is the unthinkable. Not the collapse of power, but the awakening of choice. They are left with rituals, and you are left with freedom. They will rebuild, yes, but rebuild from memory, not mastery. The crisis will become legend. The legend will become warning, and your name will linger like thunder after lightning. You will not need to speak it. The air will. And as you walk away from their trembling citadels, you understand what they never could. The true victory was never revenge. It was revelation. You revealed the machinery. You revealed the myth of permanence. You revealed that mercy, when shown to corruption, is cruelty to truth. You turned the tables, not out of rage, but out of recognition that justice sometimes arrives dressed in quiet. They are still there, counting losses, drafting reports, trying to name the shape of what hit them. But it's already over. The era that believed in them has ended. The next one speaks your language. And as the curtain falls on their performance, you do not bow. You simply fade into the new light, leaving them to their crisis, which has become their mirror, their punishment, their lesson. You walk away from the wreckage like someone leaving a theater after the final act, calm, unhurried, unconcerned with applause. The smoke behind you is not your burden. It is their confession rising into the air. What they called unthinkable has already become memory, and memory is mercy compared to the truth you left them with. The truth that power is borrowed, not owned, that arrogance ages faster than flesh, that mercy, when misplaced, is cruelty in disguise. You turn the tables not by rage, but by recognition, and recognition is irreversible. Now the rooms they once ruled echo with the sound of afterthoughts. Every portrait on their walls seems to look away. They try to resurrect control with new words, new counsels, new faces, but it all feels like theater performed for ghosts. The people who used to obey them now watch with detached amusement, the way one watches a magician repeat a trick after the secret's been revealed. Their crisis is not chaos, it is clarity, the clarity of knowing that the age of assumption is gone. They will spend years studying you, writing books to explain what you did, building museums around your defiance as if they could frame freedom and hang it on a wall. But freedom cannot be curated. It either breathes or it doesn't. You did not leave them ruins, you left them revelation. And revelation is a permanent scar. Every policy they draft will carry the tremor of your name. Every plan they make will be haunted by the possibility that someone else might stand as you did, unafraid, unapologetic, unstoppable. That is your legacy. Not destruction, but duplication. You multiplied courage in a world addicted to comfort. You reminded them that obedience was never virtue, her only habit. They mistook your calm for madness, your conviction for arrogance, your refusal for heresy. But now they see it. They see that mercy was never a request, it was a delay, and you ended the delay. There will be whispers of rebuilding, of reconciliation. Let them whisper. A rebuilding that does not include reflection is just decoration. They want to repaint the old empire, to scrub your fingerprints from the glass. But fingerprints are memory's favorite language, and your touch is everywhere. Every lock they change, every wall they patch, every new rule they invent will still smell faintly of you. Because you didn't just change the world, they can handle that. You changed what the world considers possible. And possibility is a contagion. It spreads faster than fear. They will study your moves the way priests study prophecy, hoping to find flaws, hoping to prove it was luck. But luck doesn't dismantle dynasties. Luck doesn't rewrite hierarchy. It was precision. Every pause, every silence, every decision executed with surgical cruelty. You knew where to press, where to pull, where to let them destroy themselves. That's the art they'll never understand, that sometimes mercy is the cruelest weapon. You let them live long enough to see themselves lose everything they built. Look at them now, tired, diminished, human again. The crowns they wore so easily now feel like burdens. The titles they cherished sound hollow when spoken aloud. You didn't strip them of dignity. You revealed that they never had it. Dignity cannot coexist with deceit. They're beginning to understand that. And it hurts. Oh, how it hurts them to realize that the power they worshipped was never theirs. It was borrowed from belief, and belief has shifted. You hold it now, not because you demanded it, but because you earned it. In another age, they would have called you dangerous. In this one, they call you necessary. That's how deep the shift runs. You are not rebellion anymore. You are reference. They quote you without naming you. They copy your composure in crisis briefings, mimic your stillness in their debates, hoping some of your unbreakable presence might bleed into them. It won't. Presence cannot be performed. It can only be lived. You live it effortlessly because you paid for it in truth. The world outside their chambers moves differently now. People walk with straighter spines, speak with clearer voices. The air feels lighter, as if oppression had a physical weight, and you lifted it without ceremony. They see you sometimes, in flashes, at crossings, in reflections, in moments when courage is required, and they remember, not your words, but the feeling you gave them, that fear is optional and permission is imaginary. That lesson will outlive every law they write. Soon they will vanish quietly. Power never dies loudly. It retreats, embarrassed. They'll retire to their estates, publish their memoirs, pretend it was all part of some grand transition. Let them. History isn't written in ink. It's written in effect. And the effect is irreversible. You've shifted the center of gravity. You've made obedience unfashionable. That's why they call you dangerous. Not because you destroyed their order, but because you made people question it. And once questions begin, authority bleeds. The unthinkable thing they said you did, it wasn't an act of war. It was an act of awareness. You exposed how fragile power becomes when confronted with someone who doesn't need it. That's the real horror for them. That you didn't want what they had. You wanted what they feared, freedom. They could fight ambition, but they can't fight indifference. You didn't want their throne. You wanted your mind unchained. And now that you have it, everything they control looks small, childish, obsolete. You stand in the new light, not as a hero, not as a villain, but as proof. Proof that power collapses when faced with authenticity. Proof that fear dies when met with understanding. Proof that mercy, when withdrawn from the corrupt, becomes justice. They stare across the ashes, wondering how you did it, how you turned the tables without lifting a hand, without shouting, without mercy. And the answer is simple. You stopped playing. That's what terrifies them. That you didn't need vengeance, just distance. That you didn't fight them, you exposed them. That's the unthinkable, control undone by composure. And as they sit there, haunted by the echo of what was, you disappear into the future you created, not fleeing, not hiding, simply moving forward. Because the game is over and you have no interest in trophies. The curtain has fallen. Their applause will never come. But you don't need it. Their crisis is eternal now, replaying in every boardroom, every policy meeting, every conscience that sold itself cheap. You left them there, with their mirrors, their memories, their punishment, and you, unbothered, unbound, unforgettable, walk into the dawn of your own making.